Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. This is going to be part 2 of the Guitar Center going bankrupt video. In order to better understand this video, I would definitely recommend that you go check out the first video I made by clicking on this link right here. And if you have watched that video and you're back for more punishment, then make sure you drop me a like, you drop me a comment, and you subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. Okay, so this is going to be an update on what's going on at Guitar Center. There have been some new developments, so I want to share them with you guys. Also, there was some interesting comments in the comment section of the previous video, so I'm going to try to address those as well. So apparently, what finally is going to happen with Guitar Center is that they're going to file for Chapter 11, which means that they're actually going to file for bankruptcy. Does that mean that Guitar Center is going out of business? No, probably not. When you're a big corporation like Guitar Center and you file for bankruptcy, what it does is that it automatically halts your interest, which means that you effectively stop accruing interest, and that's a big deal. Especially when you have $1.3 billion in interest alone. It also gives you a chance to renegotiate your leases, and you get a chance to renegotiate contracts and salaries. So basically what they're going to try to do is just restructure that debt so they can pay it off by November of next year. So I wouldn't expect any of the stores closing or any crazy deals to go on right now. Not yet anyway. You gotta keep in mind that even though they owe $1.3 billion in interest, they also made $2.3 billion in sales this year alone so far. And they still have 2 big months to go. Guitar Center, as well as most retail stores, is heavily relying on Christmas sales because they make up over 50% of their sales for the whole fiscal year. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to spend the least amount of money on stock and salaries and commissions and bonuses so they can save up as much money as they can to make a big payment up front. So of course, for now, stock is going to be low and some layoffs are expected, as well as bonus and commission caps, ducks, or even halts, at least until they get back on their feet. If you're like me and you haven't been to a Guitar Center in a while, here's some footage from the Atlanta store. As you will see, they have very few high-end guitars because they want to tie up the least amount of money on inventory as possible. And in contrast to what you might expect, they actually make you the least amount of money. They actually have the smallest gross profit margins. So really, you get the biggest return from the low-end brands. Having been a manager at Sam Ash, I actually had access to cost and true cost for all items. So I could really see the cost, the margins, and the profit that you actually made on any particular item. And I'm sure Guitar Center is going to be smart and they're going to favor the brands that make them the most money for the smallest investment. So get ready to see a lot of low-end Chinese stuff and proprietary brands at Guitar Center. Proprietary brands have the biggest return on investment. So get ready to see a lot of Laguna guitars, Ocean basses, Raven amps, sound percussion, Mitchell guitars, and more. Because yeah, by far, they're going to be the brands that make them the most money. You'd be amazed to see how much money they actually make on a guitar. Because the true cost is so low that they can actually afford to give you a big fat commission on a guitar like that as an incentive for you to sell it. That's why every time you go to a Guitar Center, they're going to try to push one of these brands. The same can be said for Sam Ash and some other companies as well. Here's some footage from the store in Atlanta sent to me by my buddy at Guitars and Music. You can check out his YouTube channel. I will link in the description down below. Also, he was really interested by the fact that they had no Elixir strings whatsoever. But I talked to a buddy at Sam Ash and he told me that they don't have any Elixir strings either. So what I think is happening is that Elixir is one of those brands that don't actually work on credit. You pay up front. It means that you have to have your cash in hand and ready to be invested. What most companies do is that they will actually send you the stuff and they will give you like a 3-month, 6-month credit where you try to sell that stuff and get some of that money back and pay that back. Another thing we really need to take into consideration is the fact that customs was closed for a while. So a lot of Asian product was not able to come into the States, and that will really thin out your guitar walls. Okay, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will try to keep you posted, so if anything important really comes up, I am going to do a third video on this, because you guys seem to really enjoy it a lot. It also gives me a chance to share my experience as a salesman and manager at a guitar store. But before I go, I want to address 2 very interesting comments I got on the previous video. But before I do that, make sure you destroy the like button, you drop me a comment if you like the video, and subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. Okay, so here's one. F*** Guitar Center and their overpriced shit. Okay, a lot of hate there. But here's the fact. Guitar Center or Sam Ash or any retailer for that matter are not able to overprice anything or underprice anything. In fact, there's something that's called MAP pricing, which stands for minimum advertised pricing, which means that nobody is allowed to change that price. And that price is set by Fender, Gibson or any other brands. Which means that if they say that this particular guitar is $549 at MAP pricing, nobody is allowed to touch that price. Does that mean you can't do any deals with your friends? No, but you're not allowed to advertise any lower than that. So you will see on every catalog, the price is the same. At every website, the price is the same. All things being equal, of course. It would have to be the same guitar, the same color, the same neck, the same pickups, the same exact guitar in the same exact country. Of course, if you're in the States, then the tax is going to vary from one state to the next. So yeah, the brands basically control everything. The cost, the sales price, and of course your profit. And they are very strict about it. In fact, in 2007, when I first started working at Sam Ash, we didn't carry Gibson at all. We did carry Epiphone, but no Gibsons. And imagine a company with over 60 stores with no Gibsons on them. It was so bad that I remember that Mike Rock, who was in charge of guitar purchasing back then, had instructed everybody to buy as much used Gibsons as possible, even if that meant to pay top dollar for a guitar that wasn't really worth that much. So yeah, prices are the same at every big store. Mom and pop stores can actually get away with it because they're not audited as much. And these makers can actually opt out of a sale too. So when you have like a 4th of July sale, you actually have to tell them upfront what the sale is going to be, and they can decide whether or not they want to be a part of it. So yeah, they got them by the balls. And the second comment was, hey man, doesn't Bain Capital have any money? Why aren't they trying to keep Guitar Center afloat? And here's the thing, Bain Capital is in fact loaded. They have so much money, you have no idea. But this to them is an investment, it's a business. They're in this for the money, not for the musician. And I understand that, and you should too. In fact, if you look at all the companies they've acquired or invested in, you'll see that they're not actually musically inclined at all. Okay, let me tell you a little something about Bain Capital. Bain Capital LLC is an American private investment firm. They're based in Boston, Massachusetts, and they've been in business since 1984. And the first company they acquired was Staples. Yes, Staples. So they're in this for the money. That's what they do. So the moment a company is not financially viable anymore, they shut down and move on to the next investment. I actually compiled a list of some of the companies they've actually acquired and invested on. And mind you, these are only some of the companies they have invested on. But if you pay attention, then you will see that they're not actually musically inclined at all. Okay, so here's some of the companies they've acquired or invested in over the years. Here we go. AMC Theaters, Brookstone, Burger King, Burlington's, Domino's Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, KB Toys, Sports Authority, Staples, Toys R Us, Warner Music Group, The Weather Channel, and more. So yeah, is Bain Capital in trouble? Not at all. Is GC in trouble? Maybe. That is yet to be seen. But the fact is, most people, and I think so too, would agree that they're gonna make it once again. So thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I will see you next time. Pat out. Metal on, dudes.